RP Sanjeev Goenka Group, growing legacies.
Hello and welcome to Hot Money Technicals on Bloomberg Mint Live, India's first digital live streaming business news service. This is a show which gets you a complete wrap of all the stocks that are buzzing in trade. I'm Darshan Mehta. Let's welcome our experts then. Aditya Agarwala of Securities, Chandan Taparia of Motilal Oswal Securities, and Dyaneshwar Padwal of KIFS Securities join us on the show. Thank you to all my guests for joining me on the show. The market pretty much is trading at the lowest point of the day, but we'll get straight cracking with all our guests. The first stock that we want to talk about is the Lupin. Aditya Agarwala has a sell call on it. If you can pull up the chart, Aditya, you can join me here. We'll pull up the chart of Lupin. Aditya, what's the rationale? Why are you indicating a sell on Lupin?
All the pharma stocks are doing pretty good of late. They kept the index to wherever it is right now. But Lupin is one stock which continues to show bearishness. And if you take a look at the chart right now, it's broken down from a head and shoulders pattern. So this is the neckline of a head and shoulders. What is a head and shoulder? It has two shoulders and a head. So this is one shoulder, this is one head, and this is another shoulder.
Okay.
I draw a neckline joining the lows, and I get a neckline. The stock has broken down from the neckline in trade yesterday, and today also it just tested the neckline. It's now trading lower. So this tells you there is weakness in the stock, clearly, no doubt about that, and Lupin has been an underperformer. So I recommend a short on this. The only support that I see is yesterday's candle's low, which is close to about 842. The moment it breaks 842, I'm looking at a sharp downside of 800 to 780 in Lupin. Again, look at the RSI, where the RSI is placed. It tested, it didn't cross 50. So 50 is the neutral level for RSI.
Okay.
It failed to cross this neutral level of 50 when the stock saw a slight up move, and from there RSI started to go down. And look at the price movement. Prices also started to go down. Yesterday's candle was a big sell red candle. So this tells you that there is weakness in the stock. Lupin has been an underperformer. I expect it to continue to underperform. Probably it can come down to these levels of 800 to about 780.
To around 800 to 870. You said that 842 is pretty much the level. If it breaks, there will be selling.
So the selling pressure will intensify.
If someone is taking a strategy, he's listening to you right now, should he short at this level? Should he put a selling stop loss at 842? What's your recommendation?
So a selling stop loss at 842 will be ideal.
Okay.
But if
not at this level,
one can go ahead and short it even at current levels and add on to below 842 as well. But 842 break of 842 will be a confirmation. The slide will be fast. Right now, because it's holding on to this yesterday's low of 842. The moment it breaks this, the slide will be very fast.
If someone is, let's say, shorting at this level, what would an ideal stop loss be?
So this my stop loss will be this green line, which is 100 DMA, which will be around 870 to about 875 levels.
Okay, 870 to 875. So probably another 20-25 rupees stop loss is something that you would recommend. And you said if 842 breaks, it can go all the way low
down
to
levels. 800 to 780.
800 to 780, and the trend will continue on the downside, or pretty much again it will see a bounce back at the levels.
So from here it can see a bounce back, but if it breaks these support levels of 780, further downside to 750 is also possible in the stock.
Okay, and how soon do you see this coming?
So this can be very sharp, probably a week, maximum week or two. You can see this sharp downside in the stock.
Okay, many thanks, Aditya. So we'll discuss Lupin now in detail with the other guest. Dyaneshwar, what do you make of Lupin? It's at 850. What would your strategy be on Lupin?
Yeah, good afternoon, Darshan. Well, if we talk about the Lupin, it is come under the pharma sector, and recently we have seen that as per the relative rotation graph, the pharma was moving in a leading quadrant where the momentum and the relative strength was very high. And recently we have seen that the underline has moving towards the south. So we have lost the momentum into the pharma sector, and yes, of course, if you look at the Lupin's lower time frame charts, mainly on daily, and rightly the Aditya said that it has broken the intermediate trend line, and if you can go to the higher time frame like a monthly, so last month support was near about 851, and it is already broken, and stock is trading below that level. So I could see probably stock may test 800 level. So trader can keep a tight stop loss of 880 as Aditya said, and wait for an 800 target.
Okay, so pretty much similar targets coming in. Chandan, you agree? Similar targets, or you have a different view on Lupin?
No, that's true. The stock is breaking the immediate support trend line, or in fact, selling is seen in most of the pharma counter. Pharma and metal were the sector where some buying was seen, but the way market is continuously falling down, the topping formation are also visible, or in fact we have seen built up of short position in most of the pharma counter. So Oro Pharma is the only counter which may see some buying apart from Dr. Reddy, Lupin. All are witnessing selling pressure, and here we may see the decline of 3 to 4% from current levels.
Okay, so pretty much similar trends coming in. It's a consensus sell that's coming in on Lupin. Let's pull up the next stock, and Dyaneshwar has betting on Bajaj Finserv. Let's pull up this chart. Bajaj Finserv has been on a downtrend, but he's recommending buying this counter at this level. So what's the strategy?
Yeah, well, Darshan, I do agree with the statement, like, and don't try to catch the falling knife. But you know, the momentum where the falling knife has been stopped. So I would recommend to buy the stock, because the stock is moving in a clear uptrend. It is making a higher top, higher bottom formation as per Dow theory. And if you look at the overall chart structure, so it is moving in an escalating channel where the stock is taking support of near around 5,000, near about 500 and 5,600 level. And simultaneously, if you look at the supportive oscillator like an RSI, can you just zoom in the RSI level?
Yeah, they will do it.
Yeah, if you look at the RSI, so it is giving a bullish hidden diversion where you will find out the RSI is making new low, but you know, the underline is not managed to make a new low. So that would be a great buying opportunity.
Can you explain this in detail, what you're trying to show here?
Yeah, of course. Here RSI has making a new low,
okay,
as per the overall chart structure. But in case if you look at the chart structure, it is not making new low. It is making a higher low.
Okay.
So it would be an buying opportunity. This kind of formation would be an hidden buying bullish divergence. So that's why I'm recommending this stock. If stock is managed to close below 5,300, that is my stop loss, then traders should exit from the stock. And if the stock is not making 5,300 level, if I take the retracement of the Fibonacci retracement of the 50% of the recent fall, so it will come around 6,200. So that would be my target.
Okay, 6,200 is your target. How soon do you see that this trade play out?
See, we have seen the very drastical fall down into the stock, and we really surprised by the vertical wave formation towards the south. So I am expecting that the pullback should come within 4 to 5 weeks.
4 to 5 weeks, and 5,200 is the strict stop loss.
5,300.
5,000 is the 300. So that means the potential just 300 rupees stop loss on a stock which is at almost 5,500. So
yeah,
intraday moves can be very sharp in Bajaj Finserv. So
yeah, but the stop loss is on the basis of closing.
Okay. Okay, so that's important. So if it closes below 5,300, so on intraday you will not keep any stop loss on Bajaj.
Yes.
Okay, that's the view that's coming in on Bajaj Finserv. In a market which is falling, we have a buy recommendation. Chandan, what's your view on Bajaj Finserv?
See, immediate trend is in pressure. So we require some follow buying. However, risk reward ratio might be favorable for the going long. But the only thing is the market is continuously making lower top, lower bottom formation. So I require a small pause in the selling pressure, and if it turns above 5,700, 5,750, then we get more conviction to going for the long side.
Okay, so you will wait and watch. So wait and watch approach for you for Bajaj Finserv. Aditya, what would your strategy be for Bajaj Finserv?
I would slightly agree with Chandan out here, but this will be like a risky bet if I want to go ahead and buy Bajaj Finserv. The only reason I would go ahead and buy is the risk to reward ratio, and since markets are sitting at slightly oversold levels, a bounce back from current levels on the index can propel a short covering rally in Bajaj Finserv as well. For me, the tight stop would be 53.60. If the stock, so this happened to be the recent spike low on a couple of weeks back. On Friday, stock made a spike low of 53.60. So for me, that would be this ideal stop loss. If the stock starts to trade below 53.60, I would close out my long positions and probably exit.
Is this on a closing basis?
No, for me, this would be like even at intraday, if it breaks 53.60, I would want to exit the stock, because I don't know the magnitude of selling can intensify post that as well. It can slide all the way to 5,200 as well.
Okay, so that's the view that we are getting in. Dyaneshwar is rather bullish on Bajaj Finserv. Chandan says that it's a wait and watch approach. Bear should be buying before he takes any call on it. And Aditya also is saying that a technical bounce back can come, but 53.60 is his stop loss. Dyaneshwar's stop loss is 5,300, but Dyaneshwar's stop loss is on a closing basis. Let's move on to the third stock, and Chandan has a recommendation on Titan. Chandan, if you can join me here. Titan is doing well today. It's up 30%. The operational update that they provided seemed to be decent. Chandan, all yours. What are you trying to explain?
Yes, looking at the price movement, the overall trend of the market is negative, but this stock is somehow finding some buying interest. If you look at the RSI, we see the positive divergence. In last two instances, the stock is continuously making the lower lows, but RSI is somehow holding and given a crossover. And today it formed a bullish belt hold kind of candle where open and low was the same, and it is holding the gains with open interest activity. So all these price factors are suggesting to go on to the buy side. Already we have seen a correction from 950 to 785, 750 zone. So that also provides a better risk reward ratio. Even if you look at the price movement of weekly and daily, that is also showing that most of the time stock turns from these levels. So because of all these sense, we are getting the buy trade on the same. 785 is the immediate support. One can put that stop loss to play the upside to us 840, 855 kind of zone.
840, 855, 780 is the support. What's this green line that you've indicated here?
See,
and how does it matter to this chart?
See, for me, I am more interested to look at RSI.
Okay.
This is the trade based on the RSI. I have seen the positive divergence on the RSI. And this is the level, this is the trend line where I am looking the bounce back move.
Okay.
Because earlier, after falling below the same, the stock fell down. So again, I am expecting it to retest this trend line. That's why the target comes near to 850 zone.
Okay, so if it comes, how soon do you see this coming?
I'm expecting it to move in 3 to 5 days.
Okay, what's the strategy? Buy Titan at this level, or would you wait for a lower level to take an entry?
I think one can buy, or those who are looking better risk reward ratio can wait for a small dip, but not expecting major dip in the count.
Okay, thanks so much, Chandan. We'll ask our other guest on Titan. You can go to your place there. Thank you so much. Aditya?
Titan definitely has bounced back, and yesterday's low has been held quite well. One point I would agree with Chandan is the RSI has made a positive divergence, so one is a positive sign for Titan. But the stock had broken down from a head and shoulders neckline, and it is approaching the neckline of that. So it is a retest of the neckline that the stock is going to. Okay. 825 to 826 is the resistance for that neckline. If the stock is able to close above 825 to about 826, that would be a confirmation for me of the trend reversal in the stock. And then I would agree with Chandan's targets could be as high 850 or probably higher than that as well.
Okay, Dyaneshwar, your view on Titan?
Well, talking about the Titan, I agree with Chandan, because the RSI on a lower time frame, it is showing the divergence, and stock has forming a hammer candlestick pattern on the lower time frame. But if you look at the overall chart structure of on a higher time frame, it has it has broken a head and shoulder pattern. So that would be on cautious levels. But yes, of course, if you look at the overall the head and shoulder pattern, so if you backtest on the any charts or any indices, so it has given a result of near about 55%. If stock is managed to see intermediate resistance placed near 843, so bulls managed to take out the 843 level, so that pattern might get cancelled, and there would be an probability stock may headed towards the 900 also.
Okay, so I think both of our guests, Chandan, spoke about immediate resistance. Is there anything that you're seeing in your chart in terms of Titan? Any resistance, immediate resistance? And if someone wants to play this as a positional bet, if this resistance gets taken out, how high do you see the counter going?
Yes, 825 is the immediate hurdle. So if that is broken, then even expecting more target. However, as of now, I've given the target of 850. But if 825 is decisively surpasses, then expecting even more momentum and more strength and conviction going into the counter.
Okay, so that's the first round of the stocks that are being recommended. We'll move on to the second round, and Aditya is now betting on Motherson Sumi. Motherson Sumi is a counter which has actually cracked significantly. It's come down to levels of below 250, but Aditya believes it's time to buy Motherson Sumi. Why?
Right. So this is more based on Elliott wave theories. So right now what we are witnessing is a corrective wave 4 in Motherson Sumi. The stock has fallen one way from 400 odd levels. It's come down to 250 levels. What you see is the stock has been following a downward sloping channel, and this happens to be the A, B, C, 3 zigzag waves in which stock has gone down. Plus it has held on to the previous high support levels of close to about 237 to about 235 zone. So for me, the risk to reward is extremely favor in going long at current levels. The stock is trading close to about 244. I would put a stop loss at 235 to about 225, slightly lower to about 220 levels, and I'm seeing as high as 300 target on the stock, which is the upper end of the channel. And if it breaks out, probably I would hold on to the stock. This will be slightly a longer term time frame. Probably one can look at a month in this trade. But the moment if it breaks 220, then I'll be out of the trade. For me, the risk to reward is favorable favorable. Stock is taking support at the lower end of the channel, and this is a corrective wave 4. I presume once the corrective wave 4 is over, impulse wave 5 will start, which can propel the stock higher.
Okay. Also, you put a play on the RSI. Can you explain?
So RSI has taken support at so it's sitting at the lower end of the bull zone, which is close to about 40, 35 to 40.
So we'll pull this up.
Yeah. So this is sitting at the oversold levels of 40 to about 30 zone. So bounce back from current oversold levels of RSI is also expected in the stock, and I expect the stock to take support at current levels and initiate a bounce back can be expected. On the daily chart, RSI has formed a positive divergence. So on the daily chart, stock has made a lower price has made a lower low, but RSI has made a higher low. So on the daily chart, it has formed a positive divergence, and the stock is trading in green today. So probably a breakout on the upside is possible in Motherson Sumi on the daily chart from a falling wedge.
So basically, you've said it's a positional trade,
yes.
and I really doubt that the rise can be very steep.
Right.
So you're saying that it could take a few months before it's more of a buy and hold for the next few months. Is that the strategy that you're?
So if I hold on for a few months, I'll be looking at a target of in excess of 300. For a month, if I hold on, probably I'll be looking at a target of 300. And if I hold on,
you're seeing a 50 rupee jump in a matter of 1 month.
Yes.
Okay, so that's the view that's coming on Motherson Sumi. Thanks so much for that, Aditya. Chandan, Motherson Sumi, would you venture a buy at these levels?
See, looking at the price pattern, the stock is moving in a falling channel. But the problem is it is continuously making lower top, lower bottom, or lower highs, lower lows on the weekly scale. So if it gives a sign of the reversal of the simple price pattern, then only we may see the change in the trend. However, it is respecting to the previous resistance zone. So might be a play of the role reversal, but requires some negation of the negative formation of lower top, lower bottom. So if it turns from here, for sure it has potential to even move.
From what level, if it turns, you would turn bullish? Or if someone wants to play Motherson Sumi, what level would you recommend getting into this count?
So about 255, 258. Okay. I'll get conviction that yes, this bottom has processed, and then stock has potential to move towards 275 to 290 zone. Okay,
so it's a wait and watch, and if the counter moves up, it's better to lose that 15 rupee up move and then start getting into it, because it is a confirmed trade. Dyaneshwar, Motherson Sumi, what do you make of it?
Hey Darshan, if you talk about the Motherson Sumi, we have recently seen that the vertical wave formation towards the south is really surprised the market. And if you look at the current scenario of the market, if market is managed to sustain over here and give the pullbacks, so I would say preferably the pullback in the Motherson Sumi would come very fast, because recently we observed that on a lower time frame charts like and daily, so we are observing stock is falling. But if you look at the volume indicator, so it is giving an indication that the bears have been lost their momentum and bulls are trying to enter into the market. So intermediate resistance placed near 252 level. So if bulls manage to take out that level, we probably see the stocks is marching towards the 275, 280.
Okay, so it's a call that's coming in. It's not a bearish call at this point of time. Aditya is rather bullish on it, but he said it's more of a positional call. The other two guests do believe that wait for levels of 250, 255 to be taken out before you take a call on Motherson Sumi. So wait for that 10 rupee up move if you want to play the balance 30, 40, 50 rupee up move on the counter. The next stock we want to discuss is Bank of Baroda, and that's the stock that Dyaneshwar has recommended. Again, it's a second buy for the day. Dyaneshwar, it's a confusing chart for me, but you'll need to simplify it for you.
If you look at the overall chart structure, earlier the Bank of Baroda was trading below the 100 levels. Okay. And once it got the breakout and stock is marching towards the 200. We can see from the 2010 to 2018, it is almost 8 years. Stock has spent near about 100 rupees gap. Stock was trading in the 100 rupees pattern. So it is an horizontal pattern where the stock is facing resistance near about 220 and finding a support around 100. If you look at here, so here also the stock has managed to break out the 100 level, but it could not sustain below that. And again the bulls take over the charge and lead towards the 220 level. Again the same pattern we are finding over here. Here the stock is again taking a support of 100. So one can buy at current market price, or as well it is corrected towards the 95 level. So that could be a great buying opportunity. Traders can keep a stop loss, tight stop loss of 85 on a closing basis, and it is risk reward ratio is quite favorable. If stock is not managed to sustain below 100 and level, we may probably see the level of 130. That would be on my first target. But if the stock is managed to sustain above 130, it might lead towards the 200 level also.
Okay, you mark something on the RSI chart also.
Yeah, of course. can you zoom in the RSI?
Yeah.
If you look at the RSI, so probably if you look at the overall chart structure of the RSI, you will see that the RSI is clearly trading above the bullish zone. Whenever the RSI is trying to test the oversold zone, so it has come back and bulls has managed to take entry into the stocks, and RSI push the RSI towards the oversold zone. So that would be a great buying opportunity. If you look at the circle which has been rounded from the stock, has taken a support and again come back towards the north.
Okay, so that's the view that's coming in on Bank of Baroda. Thank you so much for that, Dyaneshwar. Chandan, Bank of Baroda, would you buy at these levels?
See, I'll wait for PSU Bank. However, Bank Nifty has been consolidating a range. It is consolidating from last 2 days when Nifty is continuously falling down. But PSU, the overall trend is negative. It is continuously making lower top, lower bottom on the higher degree scale. So I require some follow-up or change in the base, because the system call writing is clearly visible in the most of the PSU counter. So either I'll avoid or I'll let it go for the momentum.
Okay, so it's a clear avoid from Chandan. Aditya, your view on Bank of Baroda?
I would place a stop loss at 96. I'll play just for a bounce back in the stock. Not too bullish out here. If it breaks 96, then from there a downside to 85 is steep. 11 rupee downside in the stock would be like 12% downside on the stock. So for me, I would place a stop loss at 96, 3 rupees lower from current levels, and hope for a bounce back in the stock. If 96 is broken, I would be out of the stock, because 85, the next support on the downside, is quite far off from that point of onwards, which would be like 12-13%. So for me, 96 would be the tight stop loss and take a trade. A bounce back can take stock slightly higher.
Okay, so it's a mixed view that's coming in on Bank of Baroda. Chandan said he would stay away. A quick trading bounce is something that Aditya will play at with a stop loss of 96. But Dyaneshwar is rather bullish on the counter. 85 is his stop loss. Is it on a closing basis or
closing?
Is it on
the closing basis?
Okay, that's on a closing basis. That needs to be clarified. So that's Bank of Baroda. And the final stock that we want to discuss from our experts is Hindustan Unilever. Chandan, we'll have the chart and you can join me here. It's below the 50 DMA. What are you recommending a sell?
Yes, after a long time, this stock is broken below 50-day exponential moving average. If you look earlier, it was clearly respecting to its 50-day exponential moving average. Here it has broken the same and acting as a resistance zone. In fact, if you look at the 3 days back, it was trying to surpass that but failed to do the same, and that's why it has surrendered and started to form the lower top, lower bottom formation. We are witnessing fresh call writing activity, and this indicator or this 50-day exponential is doing well, especially if you look at the last 6-7 months. So that is the reason that I am expecting it to test the lower zone. 1480 are the next support zone where the stock can test. On upside, one can put the stop loss of 1580, but here one can sell on bounce back as well, because overall, if you look at the price movement of last 10 to 12 trading session, it is more of the consolidative to negative bias.
Okay.
So overall strategy will be sell on bounce back into the counter.
Okay, just one query, because I see that even at level when it was in Feb or March, if you can go here,
yeah.
It managed to stay there for a few days and bounce back. Are you seeing any kind of pattern here? Why is it different from that?
See, if you look here, it crossed the same. Earlier it was consolidating and finding hurdle near the same. It crossed, and after that it continued in the bull run, and here it corrected sharply but again managed to recover. Here somehow it formed the double top kind of process, and now it is broken, and the 50-day exponential is exactly working as a resistance trend line. So all these factors are making me to be bearish in the counter. In fact, you look at the entire FMCG pick, Dabur or Britannia or Pidilite, all are witnessing the selling pressure. So entire sector is in bear grip, and if you look at even at RSI, it has also given the crossover on the negative side. So all these are making sense to be the negative side of the
Okay, what's your target? Did you said?
Looking for 1500 to 1480 kind of zone.
And what's the strict stop loss?
Stop loss will be 1580. That is slightly higher because already stock is corrected. So even if bounces, that will be the better risk reward ratio from current stock.
Okay, many thanks for that, Chandan. So we'll now discuss HUL. Aditya, your view on HUL?
I would agree with Chandan. Stock is clearly weak, and what is different from that point of from the previous time when the stock had broken its 50 DMA was it's broken its support levels as well this time around. But I would initiate an aggressive short below 1530 in HUL. 1530 happens to be the immediate support zone for the stock, which is also 50% retracement of its move from 1300 to 1750. So for me, below 1530, I will go short on HUL. Targets, I would agree with Chandan, would be 1480, 1475 first targets, and if it breaks that, probably will be headed to 1390 as well. There is weakness in HUL, no doubt, but aggressive selling will be seen below 1530 levels.
Okay, Dyaneshwar, what's your view on HUL?
Well, if you talk about the HUL, this is on a higher time frame chart. This is the first sign of reversal we have observed on the higher time frame charts like monthly. And if you look at the overall lower time frame chart, mainly on daily, So after a sharp fall, we have seen that the fall-off selling is coming into the counter. So I would rather shorting at current market price, I would wait for a pullback towards the 1560-65 level to go short on.
Okay, so that's the view that's coming in on HUL. Two of our guests believe that there will be more selling that will come in, but overall the trend seems to be on the negative side for HUL. And before we end, let's go across to Yash Upadhyay, who tells us about a pattern that the Bloomberg Terminal has thrown up. Yash, which is the stock and what are you recommending?
We're looking at Shankara Building Products, and the Bloomberg Terminal suggests a sell rating on it on the base of the moving average convergence divergence. So as you can see, the stock has been under severe selling pressure over the last few trading sessions. It ended with deep cuts in excess of 7% yesterday, and on the back of heavy volumes today too, it is down almost 8.5%. And with that, the blue line over here, which is the MACD line, that has crossed below the white signal line to generate a sell signal. Now, if you could get the price chart up, we saw that the stock had been falling from the level of 1600 at the start of September. It showed a bit of a bounce back and it recovered from 1000 rupees to about 1200, but in the last 2 days it has managed to give up on all of those gains. It's down about 200 points, 200 rupees in the last 2 trading sessions, and the Bloomberg indicator suggests that there could be further weakness in the counter.
Okay, so that's what the Bloomberg Terminal is indicating. Very quickly, Shankara Building.
For me, the risk to reward is not in favor of going short in the stock. I see a downside of 1000 rupees. 1000 rupees is an immediate support for the stock. Right now, it's already at 1070. So 70 rupees downside, upside resistance is at 1250 to about 1300. So risk to reward doesn't tell me to go short at current levels. Probably a pullback, yes, I will go short.
Dyaneshwar?
Yeah,
Shankara?
I agree with Aditya, because recently we have seen that the very sharp correction into the Shankara Wilcon, and as Aditya said that the risk reward ratio is not favorable, so I could probably see the pullback towards the somewhere around 1100, so that could be a great shorting opportunity.
Chandan, finally your view?
Yeah, we don't have coverage on the same, but yes, trend is negative or even on the old time frame, so better to avoid or reduce the position if someone is holding.
Okay. Thank you so much, but the Nifty is pretty much at the lowest point of the day. So I'll just throw in a quick question on the Nifty. 11,000 or 10,000? What will come first, Aditya?
I will bet for 11,000.
Okay, you see a bounce back from these levels. Yes. What about you, Dyaneshwar? What will come first?
Yeah, of course, I will wait for 11,000. 11,000 will come first, because recently we've seen that the very sharp correction towards the south, and Nifty is trying to find out the support, but ultimately the support never comes. So I would probably see the level of 10,300 that could sustain, and Nifty will march towards the south.
Now, what's your support level, Aditya, on the Nifty?
So honestly, I'll tell you, whatever support level I found out, they keep on breaking in this market. So I would agree with Dyaneshwar, 10,350 to about 300 is the immediate support. The one support which I see, the 10,417 is an immediate support zone. That is the one level from where Nifty started its rally. So today, 10,417 will be a crucial level to watch out on the spot. If that is taken out, probably 10,300, 10,200 can also come.
Okay, Chandan, 11,000, 10,000.
See, talking at the levels first, market is continuously making lower top, lower bottom from last 5 weeks, and every small bounce is being sold and it is in the bear grip. The rally started from 995 headed to 11,760. It broken all the retracement like 50% at 10,850, 61.8 at 10,650, and now it's respecting to its rising channel, and that is working well from last 2.5 years. Recently, it has exactly taken hurdle at the rising channel, and the support of the rising channel comes near to 10,300 to 10,350 kind of zone. So expecting market to find support to near to those zone and then bounce towards 10,650 to 10,850 zone. So overall, some more decline could be there, but then some pause and a small bounce back. But overall, major trend will be under pressure in the market.
Okay, so that's the view that's coming in. Chandan, Aditya, Dyaneshwar, thank you so much for joining me on the show today. With that, it's a wrap on today's Hot Money. Ask BQ comes up next. Stay tuned to Bloomberg Quint.